Will Joker surpass Aquaman and Shazam in opening weekend? Is Aquaman 2 being delayed? Are they really bringing Kevin Conroy into Crisis on Infinite Earths? Spoilers. Yes, they are. All this and more coming up, but first, I'm David C. Robertson. This, my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
And we are DC On Screen, where we talk about the DC Comics multiverse on film and television, give honest opinions, and believe that every version of a property is valid, even if we don't want it to be. If it's been released, it's fair game, so beware of spoilers, and welcome to the show. Hey, man.
Hey.
Well, we got some news up and going today. I'm having a stroke. I don't know what's going on today. Oh, man.
Later, when we return from the hospital, Dave resumed the show.
I just had a peanut under my tongue. So before we jump into news, patreon.com/DCOnScreen. Thank you guys so much. Those of you who have chosen to support us. We have 2 different tiers, and when you go over to Patreon, there's a whole process for changing the information. So it's not going to say this, but the $1 tier does get the ad-free version of the show. And then the $5 tier gets Jason's pull list and not a whole lot else at this point, honestly, but I'm hoping to change that. We've got some Chasing Squirrels in the queue. We've got probably another Marvel review coming down the pike at some point.
All right. There's plenty on there. We didn't get much done this week.
Yeah. My wife and I are still like dancing around watching Spider-Verse. So when we do that, maybe we can talk about that.
That's next.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. We'd already planned that.
Had we? God.
You were at that meeting.
Oh, I'm sure I was.
We had a quorum.
I don't know what that word means.
Enough of us.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. So anyway, thank you guys for supporting the show. And we're going to jump in here.
Splash.
What?
It's the sound of us jumping in.
Oh, it was a splash. I thought you just went, flash. And my thought was, ah.
No.
Which I guess I shouldn't, my first thought shouldn't be Flash Gordon if we're on a DC show and you go, Flash.
No, but put it like that, sure.
But I'm also a Queen fan, so what do you want me to do?
Yeah, I understand.
I played the wedding march from that movie at my wedding.
Right?
Sorry, guys.
I can vouch for it.
There was Doctor Who music, Star Trek The Next Generation music, and then the wedding march from Flash Gordon.
Right.
Yep.
That happened.
I had so many people coming up to me going, that was awesome.
Yeah, you got a lot of praise for it. Sounded good.
All right. We've got a premiere date and time for the Joker movie. The worldwide premiere date and time for Joker is the Venice Film Festival, August 31st at 7 p.m. Central European. This would translate to 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And the target date for the second trailer is apparently August 30th. That all comes to us from a Twitter account that's following the Joker movie pretty extensively.
Yeah.
And all of this
means nothing to us. We won't
read.
be able to see it for nearly a couple months after that.
Yeah. But we're going to start getting more of this. It's already got so much praise coming in. Like, there's Oscar buzz. You know, not to say that the Oscars really mean half a damn to us, but
right.
You know, it's going to be one of those like weird. It feels like it's going to be one of those weird amalgamations of, hey, here's a comic book movie, but the world's going to love this thing, and the comic book fans, well, depending on how open-minded they are,
may or may not hate it.
May or may not hate it.
Yep. That's fine. It is ballsy to release the movie to the public in general of any kind, like 6 weeks before we actually get it.
Oh, I think they've got all the confidence in the world in this thing.
It really does sound like it. I think if you told them, hey, guess what, release date's tomorrow, they'd go, okay, come what may. Bring it, bitch.
And it feels like Warner Brothers is, to all those fans out there who's like, this isn't the way Joker's supposed to be, it feels like they're just going, suck my ass, dude.
Yeah, they do not give a damn. An attitude we should have adopted years ago.
In some respects. I do understand. It would be easier if the comic books themselves weren't, so vastly different in origin and whatnot. If there weren't so many different versions of the comic book, I would understand more the complaints of it's not close to the source material. But I do understand the need to have something like, because you don't want, there's a part of you that doesn't want the general audience to love the thing that you love for reasons that they shouldn't love it. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess,
it's
but
sort of like, well, that's not really what the character was like. That's not why I fell in love with it. You don't understand.
I get it. The only thing that a lot of people, no matter which properties you liked or didn't like, a lot of people tend to agree that the studio's been reactionary and that was not a good call.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I'm referring to, is that whatever you were going to do, you should have just done it. And then when you were done doing it, do another thing.
Yeah, and I agree with that. It's like we sort of had this like, well, they don't make it like we want them to make it. And then they started trying to, and we're like, oh, God, you messed that up too. You know what? Just do whatever you need to do. Like, just let the artists do whatever they want.
Right.
And we'll judge them instead of judging you for having your hands in the cookie jar.
Yeah. Maybe it's part of the new Hamada era take on things. Like, no, we hired these people for a reason. Maybe we should let them do their job.
Yeah. And look, according to Box Office Pro, Joker is currently tracking to range between 60 million to 90 million domestically. I know we don't really put a lot of stock in projections here.
No. But if it hits the low bar of that'll cover them in a weekend.
Yeah, that's for opening weekend, and it is currently pegged to make about 77 million in its 3-day weekend, which would put Joker above both Aquaman and Shazam, which I could see it doing. Joker is an incredibly popular character, much more than Aquaman and Shazam. So if this thing has really positive press, like, remember, Aquaman did not. Aquaman had like a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
who cares?
I know, man, but the general audience cares. That's why I'm saying it. I know Rotten Tomatoes is a shitty thing.
It's a dumpster fire.
It is a dumpster fire.
I've decided. So I decided last time I went to go buy tickets to something that I was going to stop buying them from Fandango because they used the Rotten Tomatoes rating on there.
Oh, I think everything does, though. I mean, you would just stop going to see movies.
I found other places that didn't.
No, I mean, like Wonder Woman on her on the advertisements for Wonder Woman, it said,
but I can't stop
fresh
that.
on, no, you can't stop any of it. So what's the point?
Yeah, I can. Last time I got annoyed because I saw the rating and I found somewhere that I didn't have to look at the rating when I bought a ticket. It was that simple. I was happier.
Okay.
Yeah, made me happy.
Well, it's still a marketing ploy. It's.
By the way, $55 million budget. If they cover that in a weekend, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Also means you can make intense movies for $55 million and use, deep characters and have a lot of fun, and we might get a lot more takes like this. Could be really interesting.
Yeah, and it might be tailor made for someone like me, who I would happily go watch a superhero movie where no one throws a punch.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I don't know why I'm that way.
There's a version of like a show that I think you would love. There was a show on either HBO or Showtime back in the day called In Treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the aughts. It was really good, and it was just the whole thing was done basically in a therapy session. So these people from different walks of life came in. They had the therapy session. There was a little side story going where one of the people that was coming in and getting therapy had a backstory with the therapist. So there was a little bit of a kind of a serial narrative about the therapist herself.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, what you saw is session by session, these people go through the process of therapy and different revelations and stuff like that. And honestly, I think if you just did like DC In Treatment, I think you'd watch the shit out of that show.
Oh, I would. Yeah.
I mean, I would too.
That's not to say I don't ever want to see, fighting or something. It's just I don't want it to be like the bulk of the thing.
Yeah. You can just live without it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I can live without it.
It doesn't have to be there for you to enjoy the movie.
Yeah, but like last half of the Avengers, the first one. Good Lord, more of that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, love that.
It was incredible. Now that being said, I don't think the Joker is going to be a non-violent film. I feel very certain he's killing a few people.
Oh sure, I'm certain.
I have Mark Maron on the list of people I suspect he's going to take out.
Yeah, we just started watching the new Glow season.
And I got a couple things to knock out before we start that, and I'm excited.
I am simultaneously like. There's stuff I'm watching with my wife, and the stuff that like my wife has already watched, so I'm catching up on. And I'm almost through season 2 of Better Call Saul, and it's so freaking good, dude.
I believe you. But
anyway,
will probably never happen, but I totally believe you.
Oh man, it's Odenkirk, man. You gotta do it.
I know.
You gotta do it.
I don't. No offense, but no, I don't have time.
No, you don't have. You don't.
Legitimately don't have time.
All right. Blah blah blah. Now, GWW, what is that? Geeks Worldwide? I never know. I don't ever remember.
Think so.
Take it with a grain of salt, but they're saying that Warner Brothers is considering adding the the BlackKklansman star John David Washington to the Batman, and they're actually indicating that he might be Two-Face or Harvey Dent. I agree. Again, I take them with a grain of salt. I just do. And especially since he's right now filming the Christopher Nolan movie Tenet, and he's starring beside Robert Pattinson, it just feels like
too much.
It feels like too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's wait till that one gets picked up somewhere else.
Credit
if they get it, if they got it first, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't remember it, but we'll say
I'll remember. Hey, I've heard that before somewhere.
Yeah.
That's about it.
No, you won't.
No, I will. But that's it. It'll be a kernel, and then sure.
So I kind of feel like this is a little tongue in cheek, but maybe not. It might actually cause some problem. But Jason Momoa on his Instagram posted a picture of a telescope being constructed on Mauna Kea. And he says, "Sorry, Warner Brothers, we can't shoot Aquaman 2 because Jason got run over by a bulldozer trying to stop the desecration of his native land. This is not happening. We are not letting you do this anymore. Enough is enough. Go somewhere else. This is what the telescope construction looks like. The bigger one. They're building a bigger. They've already got 13 of these things on this mountain, but the new one is going to be 4 times larger." Now, Mauna Kea is a dormant volcano that's in Hawaii. Its peak is 13,803 feet above sea level. It is the highest point in the state of Hawaii. And when measured from its oceanic base, it is the tallest mountain in the world, measuring over 33,000 feet.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
they totally want to put a telescope on that.
Oh, they absolutely want to put it.
It's super tall, and it's away from as many lights as you can find, and very little overhead lines from planes. Yeah, for sure they want to put a telescope on that.
It's about 1 million years old. It's past the most active shield stage of life, hundreds of thousands of years ago. But because of the high elevation, the dry environment, stable airflow, it's one of the best sites in the world for astronomical observation.
Oh, yeah.
So, I look, Hawaiian mythology says the peaks of the island are sacred, and I get it, I don't actually think this is going to halt production on Aquaman 2, but if it does...
I'm sure that was the story, the headline you were reading, was Aquaman 2 production halted.
Well, something. It can't move forward unless, he can't, whatever. But I don't think it's going to actually halt the production. But if it does, all right. I think Aquaman was pretty good. It was, really super pretty. I'm not exactly clamoring to see what happens next. But
no, I want Aquaman 2.
I want it. In a way that I want all of these things. But if Momoa needs to go hang out and protest a telescope, I'm okay with that. That's all I'm saying.
I'll root for him. I am a little conflicted because
I am too.
I do love science and telescopes and all that stuff, but
I'm glad he's using his platform to support something he believes in. But at the same time, I believe that what he believes is hokum, and that it's absolutely, imperative for us to have a good telescope checking shit out.
Yeah. See, I could go with that, and I could also go with who cares if it's hokum? It's important to him and his people,
exactly.
So that matters. It's a hard one.
Yeah, it is a tough one. This is like a classic episode of Star Trek here.
Yeah.
So,
actually could be turned into one pretty easily.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like, the Federation's got to put this thing on the thing, and but the land is sacred to this people.
Because it's Star Trek, the people are going to be harmless and just harmless, good, religious people that mean absolutely no ill will to anyone.
Mm-hmm. And then if it was a Next Generation episode, they'd throw in a caveat where there's a tangent of them that are terrorists or something, just to make it that much more
yeah, just so you can have somebody on the one side saying they're just hateful. I know. Yeah, I get where you're going. It's an easy episode.
It is an easy episode. Not an easy problem to solve. So I will say I hope the best for whoever. I don't know. I
hope this ends well. That's all I got.
Yeah. I doubt it will. Someone's going to be pissed.
Yes. That is inevitably the human outcome.
I just wonder if Hawaiian mythology has any sort of blessing ritual. Can they I don't know, bless the telescope?
Somehow incorporate it into... I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm going to go with I doubt it. Yeah. We're having no knowledge of it whatsoever. Just doubt it.
And I don't know. It's weird, but It's not weird. It's pretty common. Wherever you fall, I hope you get whatever you want.
Right. It's a dangerous position you've taken there, but I respect it.
I know. Whatever. Well, look. I feel like there are three types of people in these people. The people that want the mountains protected, the people that want the telescope built, and the people that want Aquaman 2 no matter what. And I'm outside of all of those people. I'm just kind of going, we'll see.
Let everything sort itself out. We'll get Aquaman 2 eventually. Yeah. Which is true. We will get that movie eventually.
Oh, yeah, we will. Starring Stephen Amell.
Right.
No. Wouldn't it be cool, though?
No, it would not. There are better things for him to do.
Are there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think he wants to go straight into production. He wants to go back to his family for a minute.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so Heroic Hollywood, who, lest we fool ourselves into believing is reputable, just mistook Wesley Snipes for Lawrence Fishburne in a headline.
Grainofsalt.com.
Right. Says that Batgirl has become a top priority over at DC, and Warner Brothers is hunting for a new director. And another giant grain of salt, Daniel Richtman, this Daniel RPK character over on Twitter, says in a recent production grid for Supergirl, it said the film will start filming in 2020. If that is indeed the case, we should get some news soon. Man, they've been saying this shit forever.
Yeah, the second one I have no idea what to do with. The first one about Batgirl, I mean, it's plausible, but I want to hear it from somewhere else.
And then he goes, I should note that someone else told me it might be a placeholder date. All right, so this Daniel kid, I don't know what his deal is, but he says shit like this on Twitter, and then he has a Patreon where he gives the real scoops.
Why does it feel like the percentage of those scoops being accurate is pretty low?
I don't know. I don't follow the guy. I really don't. Like, I got a notification saying that Supergirl was in production, and lo and behold, Heroic Hollywood also cited this article. And I'm just like, good Lord. And it's just a tweet. It's a tweet. It's a tweet.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't put a lot of stock in it.
Just generating news cycles.
This isn't news. It is a thing that is going around. And we had a listener, Matthew Salvatore, at Pure Genius Lego.
Doing some great work on that, by the way.
Yeah. Really, really awesome stop motion Justice League stuff. He tweeted to us, lots of news surrounding the Snyder Cut. It seems to be getting much more attention in recent months, such as with Mark Hughes. So on the next news episode, can we hear your thoughts on what all this attention means for the cut? He also says, thanks, guys. Don't want to leave that out. You're very welcome. We always say on this show, if we leave something out that you want to hear about, we will talk about it. I do have a slight a disagreement with Matthew here, because I don't think that there has been a lot of news surrounding it. It has been getting more notoriety, and also the people wanting it have become more notorious.
There's not exact news isn't the word. I think there's more hullabaloo.
There's more hullabaloo, yeah. We have Kevin Smith coming out and saying, like, oh, I think the fans could really, I think we're at a place where we could watch a work print. I disagree, Kevin.
No, Kevin. Absolutely not. You will infuriate everyone.
Here's why I disagree with that, all right? The Avengers Endgame people...
I've got like 4 reasons. Let's see how many of them you tick off.
The Avengers Endgame people decided, we're going to put this back in theaters and we're going to throw in some extra scenes. Well, some of those scenes were unfinished. And a reasonable person would know this. I don't know how many people on my Twitter timeline, had pictures of an unfinished CGI Hulk next to a supposedly finished Justice League Superman going, are you seriously, you Marvel fans, seriously saying this is better? Not the point.
No. Not at all.
Not the point. And then, lo and behold, I go over to Facebook where the mainstreamers are, and all of them have found this on Twitter and going like, oh, Marvel shit now. Look, they're worse than Superman. No. The mainstream audience and a huge chunk of the fandom, whether they are just trolling or genuinely don't understand, are not ready for anything like a Justice League movie that is anything less than 100%.
Yeah. The point there has been missed entirely.
Yeah. Completely missed. No. This is laughable. It's also unfinished, you prick. We can't do that. I could. I could watch a work print. I'd be fine. I watch old school Doctor Who. I'm fine.
I get that.
That shit's
But
finished.
I don't think I don't think there's a Venn diagram of where there's a little sliver in the middle where everyone's happy.
Yeah.
All right. So if you release a work print, the we'll call it the release the Snyder Cut crew. I don't mean that condescendingly at all in this context. I'm just making a grouping here. The Snyder Cut crew, some of them will see the work print and think, well, at least you got to see it. But I doubt it. That's going to be a minority. A lot of them will see the work print and think, come on, man, you've cheated me. Why not finish this thing up?
Yeah.
Like, it won't be enough. I genuinely don't think it'll be enough for a lot of people, even if you get it.
I agree with
that. I don't, it's just, there's no way. The people who want the Snyder Cut, and that includes myself.
And me. Yeah.
I don't want, I mean, I would watch it just for curiosity's sake, but it wouldn't really sate me. I mean, if I got this cut, I would like to actually see this cut. So when I've been saying the whole time that I don't think it's going to be released for years, and I'm still standing by that right now. But I kind of hope it is released years from now when they can afford to put a little extra money into it and release it as some kind of physical copy edition that's going to make them their money back at least.
Yeah.
Or with the inclusion of HBO Max, at least get them enough. With HBO Max, they have somewhere where they can release it cheaply, but they also can't really monetize HBO Max because you're already going to be getting that subscription. So I don't really know how that helps them.
Yeah.
It's like a theatrical re-release with physical copy in, I don't know, 10 years. Yeah, maybe they can make the money back.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't know how much it's going to cost. There are conflicting reports. We got stuff from, I think, Screen Rant. A couple other people were saying it was going to be like somewhere in the ballpark of $30 to $40 million to complete it. But then you also have, Mark Hughes saying there's an edit of Snyder's version of Justice League that's 90+% completed. But
that 30 to 40 million though, when I read that article, it sounded like one of the one of the editors or one of the VFX guys said that they spent 30-40 million more once Snyder was gone. So that 30-40 million, I think people are misdiagnosing what that figure is representing. I think that's how much they spent afterwards, not how much they need to spend on the Snyder Cut to make it happen.
Right. But
I think those were the Whedon numbers.
Even Mark Hughes, who has, historically said it's not a thing, and now he's saying, hey, there's a thing. He says, I personally suspect WB's incoming CEO will have that version released on HBO Max sometime in the next year or two. Then he says, this is just a guess on my part, not sourced. So I know that Snyder keeps releasing stills of it, and now that he's gone on to do Army of the Dead, Fabian Wagner has really taken up posting stills and stuff from the Snyder Cut, behind the scenes stuff, which is all well and good. It's great. God bless Jay Oliva and all of the people behind the scenes who are, out there going, hey, this is going to happen, and keeping hope alive. But then you also have like this Den of Geek report that came out a few days ago where we have a quote unquote insider, because, they can't tell us anything, but he's a VFX person, or he or she is a VFX person. And they said they were pretty sure that there wasn't anything close to a final on much of the film in terms of the finished sequences. They said the movie was still months away from delivery when Joss came on board. It seems very unlikely to me that there was anything close to a releasable cut of the film. Put it another way, if there was a near finished movie that everyone was happy with, then WB would have got the editor to complete it rather than drop another 30 to 40 million into it.
That's the figure I was. Yeah.
So, and even Kevin Smith says it's not a finished movie by any stretch of the imagination. I would assume, based on what I've been told, that large sections of the Snyder Cut are previs with a lot of green screen. It was certainly not meant for mass consumption. I don't think there is, as much as I want to see it, and if we could somehow just target and release it to people with common sense.
If there was a litmus test of people that would be happy if they just got to see the working cut, and if you were somehow going to be happy with just that, you were allowed to see it. And if you were going to want more, you were just told, well, you have to wait. Then great. But since reality is a thing, it's probably still on the waiting list for a very long time.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And every time I say that, I hope I'm wrong. But every time I think I'm not.
Yeah, I get excited too. And then, like, over the course of a day or so, I start thinking, nah, that's just not going to work. And usually I'll talk to you and you'll be like, yeah, that's not going to work. And I'm like, yeah, okay. That's what I figured. All right. It is exciting when more people come out and when more articles, editorials and stuff come out about it, because I think it's interesting to see where this is going to go and what they're going to do. I grew up reading articles about how Star Trek fans did letter campaigns and got the show renewed back in the 60s. We got Serenity because of fan love for Firefly after it was canceled.
Yeah. Mystery Science Theater and Veronica Mars came back because you literally threw money at it on Kickstarter. Yeah, it was Kickstarter. There's a lot of possibilities for a lot of things, but this one's in a bucket. It's not going to be touched the same. I mean, hell, you got another couple seasons out of Chuck by buying Subway sandwiches.
Yep.
Things have happened in the past, but this isn't the same. This is different. Like, until there's a way that they can monetize it, it's not going to happen. And you can't monetize a working cut.
No, I have I have my own feelings and theories without having the exact numbers at my disposal. I would think throwing the money into completing it and releasing it is probably money well spent. If for no other, even if you're going to eat it and you're not going to ever see that money again, you're going to wind up getting a lot of goodwill towards all your future movies for making that right.
Nope.
I think so.
Some, but I still think there's going to be the camp of people who will be like, all right, well, I'm glad we got to see it, and now I'll go watch some of the other movies. But I think they're going to be outnumbered by the people. I don't know how heavily, but I think it will be outnumbered by the people who see it, feel vindicated, and then are galvanized in their decision to not watch any more of the movies, because I knew it. We were right. That was better.
Mm-hmm. That will happen too.
Are you going to split them again?
But you're also going to not have people, you're going to have way less, like, they can't post a picture of anything. Like, Jim Lee can't post a picture of a drawing without, like, 100 people going and release the Snyder Cut.
I know.
Like, that's got to stop.
It's a very active group. I mean, there's got to be a way to monetize it. There's got to be a way to make the money back. They made enough money on the movie itself as is. They've got to find a way to make money on what they're going to put back into it to do it. And it's just, I don't know. And that doesn't even include, I don't even know what it looks like legally to re-release a movie that some people have worked on and then didn't get to work on the rest of it. I don't even know what that looks like.
It looks like they're going to have to pay them.
It's way more money.
Yeah, it is way more money. Yeah, absolutely.
Every producer on it probably gets double paid. I mean, it's a lot of money. Again, your best hope, I think, is a 10-year re-release with physical copy of some kind to buy afterwards.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I'm not an expert in this field.
I feel like Captain Wet Blanket when we talk about this.
But. Yeah. I don't, like, we stopped talking about it because nothing is happening. Like, this stuff is happening, but nothing of consequence. Not really. Like, the fact that it's getting more, acknowledgement is important, but that's not news. It's just more of the same.
Yeah. And I don't think necessarily it's getting more. I think we're in a lull for anything else, so it's getting a little more attention.
Maybe. All right. Well, that's going to do it for our movie news, I think. And if you guys have any links, please send them to us that would change our argument in any way about the Snyder Cut. I want to see it.
I really am open-minded about this. I just need something.
Yeah.
I want hope. I can't achieve it.
Help me, Superman.
Right?
All right.
Somebody send me a blue ring, damn it.
We're going to be right back with a bunch of Crisis news, a bunch of Arrow news. Yeah, see you then.
Discover unbeatable deals and convenience at your neighborhood family fare supermarkets. Score exclusive deals, earn rewards, join clubs, and clip digital coupons for extra savings all in one place. Our exclusive offers bring savings straight to your card. Explore a wide range of local products that support your community. With easy pickup and delivery options, saving time and grocery shopping has never been easier. Family Fare is all about making your grocery experience easy and affordable at your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. Family Fare in your neighborhood.
We are back, and right out of the gate, let's talk about this little bit we've got here. The CW has secured the in-season streaming rights for Batwoman, Katy, Keene, and Nancy Drew. Netflix deal is done, or is coming to be done. The CW is reworking bunch of different aspects of their digital strategy. And it looks like they're going to be, they have gotten the in-season streaming rights for all of their new series on the CW app, CW TV, and CW Seed. So instead of being limited to 5 weeks worth of episodes archived on CW's digital components, an entire season will be available until 30 days before the start of the new season, when the show's more long-term digital partners, in the case of Batwoman, which is what we're here for, will go to HBO Max.
That's reasonable, and I like it.
Yeah, sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Over to Crisis on Infinite Earths. This excited the crap out of me. Marv Wolfman, who wrote the original Crisis on Infinite Earths, is going to be contributing. He's in the writer's room.
Oh, that's so good. That's just good to know he's there.
That's great. Among other things, he wrote the 2-part Batman the Animated Series episode, Feet of Clay. So, nice. No worries that he can't do TV.
Right. Even if you just stare there in the room saying, no, that doesn't sound right. Oh, that sounds right. Perfect.
Now, the headlines are saying, Mr. Terrific is returning to Arrow. That is not what I read. Because they're citing this picture that he took of himself on Instagram outside of the Arrow offices. But he says, in front of Arrow offices, I'm up to something, and it has nothing to do with acting.
Well, I don't know what that means, but it does not mean that he's returning to Arrow.
#Arrow, #new things happening. I'm going to guess he's going to direct.
Maybe.
I don't know. But we also got a picture of him on his Instagram of him sitting on the steps of the freaking Hall of Justice.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Mark Guggenheim. No, not Mark Guggenheim. I guess it is Mark Guggenheim, but I would assume it's also Beth Schwartz. They're trying to get at least one Smallville character in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Rosenbaum has come out and said that those rumors about him coming back are false, by the way.
Which is a shame.
It is a shame. I want Rosenbaum back.
Yeah.
Amel says if they could only have one, he wants Welling. I think that's obvious. Why wouldn't you want Tom Welling?
For sure, yeah.
I mean, I want Rosenbaum a little more than Welling, but I always favor the bad guys.
Yeah, and, Rosenbaum did a great job. I'd love to see him, see where he is now with that character.
Black Lightning is confirmed for Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, that was cool.
They said Crisis is functionally the perfect time for Black Lightning to join the Arrowverse. In comics, the event changed the face of the multiverse in ways that are still being felt in comics to this day. It's a prime opportunity to bring the series into continuity, if you will, while still respecting and honoring the fact that the show has, in a very real way, functioned entirely independently from the Arrowverse for its first 2 seasons. Black Lightning as a series is also in a good place going into season 3 to lend a hero to Crisis. Thunder has been taking a much larger role, much more visible, active, heroic role in the streets of Freeland. With her prominence rising, it would, in theory, be workable for Black Lightning to head off to a whole different universe to help out while Thunder kept things running in Freeland. Nice. So, yeah. And Mark Pedowitz, the network president, did say if Akil hadn't agreed to it, they wouldn't have done it because he's doing his own thing over there.
They had mentioned a few times that they weren't against it, but they weren't ready for it yet. They wanted to build their own product. And they've had 2 years, and he's right. There is no better vehicle.
And Guggenheim said, in relation to it, the goal has always been, how many different corners of the DC universe can we touch? It's not Crisis on CW Earths. It's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Which is exciting because to me that reads as like, they're not gonna dude, we might get Titans and Doom Patrol over here.
It's possible. Maybe. They've been making a lot of phone calls. I mean, they've already reached out to properties that we didn't even think were on the table. And gotten them on board in a real way. It's let me put it this way. I've seen so many people that are definitely confirmed a part of this that if they end up getting them, I won't be surprised a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, Guggenheim said every single day he has a conversation with some casting director or some agent trying to get a Smallville person on the show.
Yeah. Don't blame him.
And this is probably the most exciting thing I've heard coming out of this, which every week I feel like I have this to say a couple of times. Kevin Conroy is going to be in Crisis on Infinite Earths. They haven't said he's going to play Bruce Wayne or Batman, so don't believe that. Either I've seen all these headlines going, Kevin Conroy coming back to play Bruce Wayne, or
Nothing. It just says he's on board.
Every article says presumably in the role of Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
No.
We don't know that.
Dude could be a grocery bagger. We have no fucking idea.
We don't know that Burt Ward is playing Dick Grayson.
Just know he's back. Again, perfect vehicle to incorporate those universes, and it would be a waste not to.
That's right.
But they have not confirmed what they're doing.
That's right. Go down to Walmart, get your little fan, go back home, plug that shit up, apply directly to tits.
Yeah. For now.
But it's cool that they're there anyway.
Yeah.
The CW announced their dates for the Crisis crossover. Supergirl, Sunday, December 8th at 8/7 Central. Batwoman, Monday, December 9th at 8/7 Central. The Flash, Tuesday, December 10th, 8/7 Central. Arrow, Tuesday, January 14th, 2020, 8/7 Central. Legends of Tomorrow, Tuesday, January 14th, 2020, 9/8 Central.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot to cover.
And there's that break. There's that winter break there in between the Flash and Arrow.
Yeah.
Go from December 10th to January 14th. So over a month. It's gonna be rough, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long stretch, but that'll give us plenty to talk about, I'm sure.
Looks like Arrow is bringing back Katana for the final season.
Cool.
Tatsu Yamashiro, killing folks, storing their souls in her sword, man. I'm down for more of that.
Yeah.
Colton Haynes has dropped out as a series regular again.
There's only so many episodes left.
Yeah, I don't know what that means for it. And Beth Schwartz says, we hope to have him back. We love him, and he's obviously one of the foundations of the show. Where? There's not a show. The show is over.
Yeah, it's all there is. They brought him back mostly for the flash forwards, and those have maybe not run their course, but definitely done maybe the bulk of the work they were intended to do.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with those. I don't know what they're doing with the show, honestly, because we have Stephen Amell saying that the show is going to be on the road and going to different, all over the earth and multiverse and whatnot. So
yeah, Monitor's just going to have him as a sidekick for a little while, it looks like.
And David Ramsey, Diggle, he's got to direct an episode of the final season.
Good for him.
Always happy to see stuff like that. Like, yeah, man, get behind that camera.
Step up, give some experience. Get you that credit.
During the network's presentation at the TCA, the Television Critics Association press tour, CW President Mark Pedowitz was asked about the possibility of a future set Arrow spinoff, which would be building off the flash forwards already in place on the show. And he says there's nothing set in stone one way or the other for that spinoff. The network is apparently considering adapting another DC Comics property, though.
No idea what that means either.
I mean, it looks like there's another DC property that they're talking about doing for the Arrowverse.
That's all we got, though. And there's so many things they could do. It would be hard to pick one.
And he did say that there are no plans currently to end any other Arrowverse show.
That was the more surprising part.
He said, hopefully it'll be a long time from now.
Because I keep every year I say they go down. They do a little bit, but originally Legends went substantially down. Now it's kind of found this little plateaued area where it's down to about 1 million viewers and seems to be just fine, just enough. Every year I keep thinking, surely that's not enough viewers to keep going, and then every year they keep going.
Well, Pedowitz said, we believe in these franchises. This universe will continue for many, many years.
He's got his money where his mouth is. Shit.
I mean, I'm sure they can come up with something for crossover events, and then intermittently. But then they've also they can do an Infinite Crisis, they can do Identity Crisis, Final Crisis.
Plenty left to do.
They can do Convergence.
Convergence if they feel like getting weird.
Multiversity.
There's no reason they can't wait a few years and do CW Rebirth. I mean,
you're right. They can.
Shit. Get Lansdale back. Wait about 5 years and bring him back after all that.
Yeah. All right. So over to Batwoman. Carolyn Dries has said that Kate Kane is going to be a Jewish woman, as is her way in the comics. She said her religious background is, quote, not a huge thing in terms of the overall story, but they are looking for ways to make it clear that her Jewish identity is represented on screen. Which, I see them say it's not a huge thing, but I also think it's the CW, so their idea of subtlety is distinctly not subtle.
Yeah. Are you afraid she's going to be about to chase down a mugger and be like, oi, oy vey, or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid of it. I'm just expecting it. Like,
Oh, okay.
she's going to do the
You're racing for it.
She'll do the raspy voice and hanging the guy over the corner of the the building and just start speaking in Yiddish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm sure some 3/4 of the bad guys are going to be Nazis.
Yeah, possible.
It's going to be one of those things. It's hopefully not going to be that bad. We don't need an after-school special. We just need a superhero show.
I mean, doesn't she have dead parents somewhere that she can just go like put some rocks on their graves and then that be, we know that now?
Yeah,
The viewers caught it before. I mean, when it was,
I know. And that was well
who
done.
was it that died? I can't remember. Was it?
Well, it was not Felicity, but some people were saying that there were no rocks on the grave, so it couldn't be Felicity.
Couldn't be Felicity. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah, because she's Jewish.
Yeah, I mean the fans were cognizant of that before. We can use that. You can use that to your advantage.
But they've done Felicity's religious background pretty well, honestly. It's not been too over the top. No bludgeoning over the head.
Yeah. I mean, she could even just subtly mention someone that passed away and be like, "Yeah, at the wake, blah 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 blah." Done.
Mm-hmm.
At the wake, I talked to so and so about this.
Yeah. Well, because of it being a wake.
Is that not a Jewish? Am I wrong?
I mean, I'm Protestant. We have wakes.
Do you? I've never called her wake.
Yeah.
Well, scratch that idea. I thought the word wake was purely Jewish.
I don't think so, no.
I was raised Protestant too. I don't think they ever uttered the word wake.
Yeah, I don't know.
Silly religions. Getting all confused in my head.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, I think our wake and visitation is the same thing.
See, visitation. That was the word I used.
Yeah.
That was the word I was taught.
I think it's the same thing.
Okay.
It depends on how southern your Baptist preacher is. Visitation is at 7 p.m. Oh, visitation. Anyway.
Yeah, I had one of those.
I had a little bit of both. So.
I had several kinds, but I had one of those too somewhere along the way.
All right. So you're familiar with Magpie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Margaret Pye, the jewel thief who develops an obsession with beautiful things while curating Gotham's museum. She's going to be a villain in season 1 of Batwoman.
Okay.
And every time I think of Magpie now, I just think of that bit from Public Enemies. Yes.
I know. That line is more famous than the character herself.
I know. It's a fantastic line from Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness's Public Enemies, where Batman and Superman have both gotten out of a scrape with Metallo, and they're like helping, or like Superman's really kind of helping Bruce back to the cave.
Kind of leaning on each other back to the base.
And they're just kind of having some small talk, and Superman goes, "Whatever happened to Magpie?" And Batman's like, the villain? And he's like, "Yeah." And Batman goes, I think she died. And Superman goes, "Why can't any of the good villains die?" And Batman says, "Clark, what the hell is a good villain?"
It was a good line. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all the news.
Yeah.
In and out.
Okay. Yeah. It was painless. Good
Push
job, nurse.
it in, pull it out. If you want more of this nonsensory, go over to patreon.com/DC on screen and throw us some rubles and you will get more nonsensory.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, DConscreen.com, and you can find links to the Twitter, the Facebook, and whatever the hell else, Instagram, all the things. Even though I've been really bad about updating all that stuff lately. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Just subscribe to this feed and you'll at least get a weekly thing.
Yeah.
As we'll have a Swamp Thing review, proper Swamp Thing review coming up pretty soon.
Presently?
Is it presently or next few days or something?
Soon. Yeah, soon was the right word.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. It'll be recorded over the next few days. Up soon.
Mm-hmm. All right, until next time, keep that DC on your screen, y'all. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.